everyone, my name is Della Phelps. I'm an artist as well as I'm known as the Bicycle Lady. How you doing today? I'm doing great. Now what I'm going to be doing today is what I promised in prior video, saying it's time to make art using the watercolor markers, such as the selection I pulled out, and it's on my desk right now. Watercolor brushes to help me blend it out, and my cup of water. As you see on the screen, the paper I'm going to be using in this video to create this watercolor painting using watercolor markers is the Strathmore Imperial Series 500 watercolor paper ready cut. It is 8 inches by 10 inches. It is 100% cotton and cold press. What I have put together is a drawing of a picture I've already done, but I want to do it in a slightly different style using the markers and a little bit different coloration. It is also bigger than what I showed on Instagram, which was a little 5 by 8, I believe. So let's get started. And I'm going to start with the sky. I want to start with this color here, which is cerulean blue hue. I'm going to turn it upside down. And let's give this a try here. Okay. Let's look to blend this out. The paper I'm using is the Strathmore paper. And I chose it because of the testing. Now when I did this prior, I tried using the markers, but I got quite frustrated when I tried to use them before, because they just kind of soak, most of the colors just soak right in. I couldn't get this type of blending that I'm getting now, which has me much happier with everything that's going on. A little streaky, but that's okay, we'll get it. I don't think I need to leave a streakiness. I kind of like it. I may take a whitewash there into the mountains areas that I have defined. Okay, let me let this dry. I may put a little bit of darker color on this after it dries a little bit. We'll see. When I do that, I could dark apply it and blend it down. But I'm not sure just yet. I actually kind of like that. Now this board I'm working on is one that I made in a prior video. an art stretching board. I didn't realize I didn't put down the tape on this corner, but we'll work with that. I'll let this dry and then I'll tape this down again. And I did also put some masks to certain areas besides the drawing. And we'll go from there. I think the next thing we'll do is going to have to be the mountains, which is right behind. Which in actuality, where this picture was taken from, there was just a mound of trees there. But I wanted to put in the mountains, so that's what I did. Alright, let me give this some time to dry. It will only be a second and I'll be right back with you. After I allowed it to dry, I decided that I wanted to darken the sky a bit, especially at the top. So that's the reason why you see me applying the phthalo blue red shade directly from the marker onto the sky area where I previously applied and blended out the cerulean blue. So what we're seeing here is, yes, I can apply one marker, blend it out totally, let it dry, and then do the same with a different color. And now, there is a couple spots at the top, but that's on me. That was from me, disrupting the paper a little bit too much when I was blending out the cerulean blue. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start looking at some of the foliage. As you see here, I'm starting some of the mark making. And also, I'm going to work on the mountains, which is what I'm doing now. I used the cerulean blue because I still wanted a little bit there. But on top of that, I went with a quinidone magenta. Give it more of a purposely haze when I blend it totally out. And then also a little bit of light lines. I don't know if you can see that. I still wanted a little bit left of that, which is another thing I talked about when I was going through the various papers, testing them and finding out what paper would be good for all the various techniques using the watercolor markers, such as the Strathmore Imperial 500 cold-pressed paper that I'm using. And I experimented with various types of direct color application with different types of mark making. And if you have any suggestions on any additional techniques or different ways to make other marks, please comment below. I would love to hear from you. I do respond to all comments promptly, and I would love to hear from you. But throughout this whole watercolor painting with the watercolor markers, I did explore various ways of making marks with the watercolor markers. As well as you see, I blended out totally, not leaving a line, so I can get a more of a variegated wash rather than a total flat wash. There was times when I did a flat wash and then added on top of it. Then I applied the color directly and then blotted it up to get it just slightly lighter. I applied the color, then I quickly applied a little bit of water on top of it and blotted to get about a medium tone, rather than totally blending it out. And there's other times in which I used a plastic palette. As you see, there's some green there already. I was anticipating possibly needing to use that. But to take the marker, apply the color to the plastic palette, then pick it up with a damp watercolor brush. It allowed me to apply a lighter color in a more precise manner using the watercolor brush. Or I combined a couple colors to get a different color and still keep it within the tone range I needed and wanted. So I used a variety of techniques. I also integrated watercolor techniques of lifting, blotting, blending, various mark making. And so I learned a lot doing this picture. I'm rather pleased on how it turned out. You'll see at the end of the video. Enjoy. I hope you like the light jazz I have in the background. If not, I'll change it next time. Let me know. Again, I will respond to all comments promptly. So feel free to comment. I do appreciate it and enjoy seeing them. I'm going to let you go ahead and finish watching this video. Keep in mind, in real speed, this took over an hour, and I did take breaks. At one of those breaks, towards the end, you'll see two segments in which the colors seem a bit washed out. I changed the light setting on one of the illumination lamps I have here that I use to video with. And I apologize, it did wash it out. I'll be sure not to do that in the future. Without any further interruption, I'll let you listen to the light jazz and watch the rest of the painting video. After letting this completely dry, after the last painting section, using the markers and blending things out, I took off the tape. And see, there was some bleed through on that tape edge, but that's fine. You won't see that once it's framed, assuming I'm going to frame it. I'll probably still mat it even if I don't frame it. Overall, I love the way the markers performed on the Strathmore cold pressed paper. It was wonderful. I used a combination of techniques, as you've seen, where I put down the color and blended it out with a wash, in this case a gradated variegated wash type thing, and then some of the different types of mark making using the marker, maybe blotting and sometimes using some blending, so a combination of things that went on. And even though I feel like I may have overworked that just a bit right in here, I just couldn't get it quite the way I wanted. But I think it is a very good. This kind of blends into the background a little more. Wish I had a little more differentiation there. But overall, for this version, it definitely did improve from the other version. Wonderful and very enjoyable working with the markers. I hope you enjoyed watching it. So I'll probably be doing another version. Maybe this time mixed media, maybe not. Maybe just marker and regular watercolors. We'll see. I guess it is now time to say it's done and sign it. I'm going to go with a color similar. I think I'm going to put it over here. And I like, traditionally you sign on the right hand side. That's not always true. That's what I was taught. Over here, the signature will still be seen, but it won't detract as from the picture itself. So this is where I'm going to sign it. And my signature is usually printed. That's what I'm doing. I see I pretty well knackered this bullet point a bit. That's okay, this is an old one. It is starting to get used up actually. So that's fine. Alright, there we go. Not my best signature, but definitely can tell it's mine. Alright, if you enjoyed the painting section, please let me know. Have any comments or suggestions, or maybe tips on additional mark making I did not discover yet. I would appreciate you commenting. I will respond to all comments promptly. And please subscribe. It really helped me out a lot. And hit that like button. Until next time, you have a good day.